Welcome to A Funny Thing Called Business. We are 4 business owners with over 30 years collective experience under our belts, sharing the capers and triumphs of running a small business and how we now avoid perilous customer chaos and pitfalls. I'm Clare Worley. We also have
Darren Langley,
Kate Curry,
Pete Morgan.
Wonderful to be here, guys. So today we are interviewing the very wonderful Kate Curry from the Curry Design Studio. And I wish, this is where I wish it was on YouTube and you could see all our lovely faces, because Kate is like a rabbit in the headlights. I think she's very scared of the questions that we're going to ask her.
And so she should be.
But this is a really good opportunity for Kate to share her advice, expertise and knowledge for being in business for how many years?
Yeah, 10 years. At least, well, this is what I hope is going to come out of this, and I'm not going to end up like getting anyone put in prison or revealing my checkered past.
Okay.
Watch this space.
Yeah.
So, who wants to kick us off with the first question for Kate? Shall we ease her in gently or just like boom?
No, I think ease her in gently.
Okay,
That's
fine.
it's only fair.
Oh, that's very kind, guys.
There's a question that my daughter always asks when she meets a new friend.
Oh, what's that?
Yeah, which
Darren?
is, what's your favourite colour? So my
There you
question to you, Kate, is what's your favourite Pantone reference?
Ooh.
Nice.
I wondered where you was going then. Pantone reference.
Do you know what? I don't actually know the actual Pantone reference for it. I could probably quickly Google it. But we all know my favourite colour is orange,
Yeah.
closely followed by purple.
Oh, they're
Nice.
mine too, Kate.
And then maybe a
Nice.
touch of, like, I don't know, some bit of burgundy or teal.
Yes,
Oh.
teal's
Yeah.
a nice one.
Not all at the same time, though, presumably.
No. But I love orange. Our office even smells of orange, doesn't it?
It does,
So
yeah,
it's
yeah.
Everything. It has to be
can
orange on
smell
all the
the colour.
senses. Yes.
So that kind of leads me on to when you're creating new brands for businesses and they haven't got any kind of colour preferences.
Just do them orange.
How do you feel in for what the colour palette is?
Oh, that's an interesting question.
Thank you.
So all the questions that we ask our clients about who they are and the sort of emotions that they really want to conjure with their brand identity, I think colour is probably the most powerful tool there to evoke an emotion in whoever's viewing the brand. And there's a whole, obviously, a huge spectrum of colours, all that sort of evoke different emotions. So, you know, blues tend to be much more trustworthy and or maybe like healthcare, you know, like the NHS is blue. Then like oranges tend to be like more creative, like energetic brands. And, you know, then you've got things like McDonald's, which use the red and the yellow, which are much more, you know, like youthful, like fast food, that, you know, evokes that sort of thing. So yeah, so it's just all dependent on what the answer to the question is, really. Like, how do you want people to feel?
That's really interesting, because that would be not what people think about when they start off with what a brand should be, and they just go straight in. Well, they probably don't just think about colour palettes.
I think most people just go, I need a logo.
Yeah.
But I think we process like colours almost like, you know, so quickly, and it's subconscious as well.
Yeah.
It sort of gets into your brain, and there's obviously some brands where you look at a colour and you're, well, you know, like Cadbury's purple. You know, they've got their own colour, and you can just look at them and go, well, yes, that's Cadbury's. So it can be that powerful that you can only see the colour and still know the brand.
I love it. So we've eased her in with her favourite colour, which has led to an interesting discussion. So shall we hit her where it hurts?
I love how we're trying to scare her. Why are we doing this?
Because that's my tactics when I'm interviewing.
We were really good with you.
It's like a Jeremy Kyle thing to break me down and then like bring me back on the stage when I've stomped off in a stride.
Yes. Let's have her crying by the end of it. No, I'm joking.
Honestly.
Okay.
With graphic design and that, does being artistic in nature, is that a definite, or can you be a graphic designer without having an artistic bent, do you think?
That's an interesting question as well. I think you definitely do need to have a creative strand to your personality, even though that's not the only strand that you need. So the other strands would be, being able to ask the right questions, understand the strategy, understand business growth and how businesses work, how businesses tick, and that kind of thing, which is a bit more, I guess, sort of process driven. And then it's getting all of those answers and then visualising what that then looks like. So you need to be a very visual person to be able to translate that. I always feel like I'm a translator, in effect. Like, how do you translate what a brand, what a company represents, what they're all about, their core messages, and then what does that then look like in terms of, their colours and graphics and, just the essence of what the brand looks like. So if you don't have that ability, then you'll get all those answers and you'll just be looking at a blank sheet of paper
not
going,
knowing what to do with it.
No, I don't know.
So when you was at school, what did you want to be?
I wanted to be an illustrator. I really wanted to just sit in a shed in my garden and just draw pictures all day. That's what I really wanted to be. But there was a bit of a niggle, like, this may not be the most sensible career option because you can't really get employment as an illustrator. You generally have to work for yourself. And so when I went and did a course in illustration and graphic design combined, and I was like, I'll keep my options open. That's what I'm going to go and do. And then when I came out, having focused on illustration quite heavily, and then gone, I can't get a job as an illustrator. I'm going to have to play the graphic design card. So I had to rock up to all these job interviews with a portfolio full of sketches and go, honestly, I could do graphic design as well. This is just an example of like being creative. And so I probably didn't really think my strategy through particularly well, but who does at that age? I just wanted to sort of follow my passions really. But as it turns out, I think I'm better at graphic design than illustration anyway. So,
well, now I feel like I want to see some of your illustrations because your graphic design, obviously, we know that's awesome. But do you still do some illustrating?
I don't really know, and I keep thinking I ought to do it and pick it back up again. But it's like, I would say, no, it's like the opposite of riding a bike. You can just get back on your bike and go, I can still ride a bike. I pick up a pencil now, it looks like I've drawn something with my feet.
I bet it doesn't. A la Daniel Day-Lewis.
Maybe that's what we should do. So, like, just on a slightly different topic, we were at the Birmingham Design Festival on Friday, and one of the tasks that they set us to do, so everybody in the auditorium, they gave everybody a piece of paper, got us to draw the person next to us, and with a pen, like no other, just draw a quick sketch of the person next to you. You've got like 30 seconds to do it. And said, right, now you need to do it again using your left hand, and you have to draw them upside down, and you can't take the pen off the paper. And of course that caused all sorts of hilarity.
Yeah.
And so Alistair, who got the
pleasure,
prestigious task of drawing me, and I was like, I prefer the left-handed one.
Oh,
it's like it's freer. You're drawing things, free of the restrictions and things like that. So maybe drawing with feet is not a bad shout. Maybe I should do more of that.
Yeah. Don't get a pedicure, guys.
That could be my niche.
Speaking of your team, I've got a question from one of them.
Brilliant, Darren. Well done.
Wait, can you divulge which one?
Well, let's just see how the question goes first, shall we?
Okay.
Love it.
Okay.
Their question was, if you could have a graphic design superpower, what would it be?
Good question.
What do you mean if I could?
Oh, nice.
Let's just leave it full
That's
stop.
it.
Drop the mic.
Or should it be like, what would I say would be my graphic design superpower, maybe?
Yeah.
Or something. Yeah. I think my superpower, so one of the big turning points for me in my business was enrolling on business growth courses and understanding, how businesses work, how they tick, what a business plan looks like, and that kind of thing. And I think my superpower now is trying to understand all of that about our clients and how we can be creative with helping businesses, achieve their growth goals. So I think that's what it is. I think I'm really good at translating those things and joining the dots. So things don't just look nice. Obviously it has to look nice. It's like that form and function sort of argument. But but it also has a real point to it, and it has a, this is the reason why it looks this way, and this is what it needs to achieve. This is the result that we're trying to achieve with it. So I think that's my superpower.
I think that is such good advice as well to those businesses, creative businesses, who obviously love what they do and that's their superpower, but they're missing the piece of how to monetize it, basically. And that's it, isn't it? That's the missing piece of how you monetize it, and have grown a team and grown a lovely business. Oh, love it. So what do you love most about running your business?
I think the thing I love most is just being constantly surprised every day at what I can actually do.
That's such a Kate answer, isn't it?
I never, ever, ever thought I would be running a business that is the one that I have got today. I never thought I'd employ people. Never thought I'd have my own office space. I just never thought any of this would happen. And I think it was going on those business growth courses, and I did the one at Aston Business School, which was just phenomenal. And we had to write a business growth strategy and then present it like Dragon's Den style to like a panel of investors, which was, and they mic you up for it as well, which was the most scary thing. I was like, are they going to hear my heart banging, on this mic? Because it really was. But everything that I put in that growth plan has happened. And I remember when I wrote it, I was just like, this is the greatest piece of fiction I've ever read. But it all happened. It all came true, not necessarily in the timescales that I set out. So we had COVID and things like that. And that surprises me every day. I surprise myself with what I can do. Yeah. And so I suppose that's my favourite thing. It's enabled me to discover stuff about myself that I wouldn't have been able to, I wouldn't know was there otherwise.
Love it.
This episode of A Funny Thing Called Business is brought to you by the Community Games and this year's summer full of events in Sutton Coldfield, throughout Birmingham and Staffordshire too. We can't wait to see you for afternoons full of fun, happiness, inspiration, lots of activities, food and music too, and just having a great time with all your friends and family. Please go to our website www.community-games.uk for your tickets for this year's Summer of Fun.
At the opposite end of it, and just talking about the industry as a whole that you're in, what annoys you, what irritates you most about the industry?
I don't know. I generally don't feel particularly irritable most of the time, but if I could think,
or
of
if you could
something,
change something about the industry, what would it be?
I think sometimes people undervalue what we do. I think that happens a lot, and particularly when people go, "Well, I could just do it myself."
Crack on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good luck with that.
And as soon as you hear the C word, like I can.
What's the C word?
Canva.
Oh, I was getting worried then. I was going to say.
Not the other one.
Yeah. That's still quite a bad one.
But that can sometimes apply. But yeah, it's people are like, well, I've got the tools now, and that's the thing. People have a lot of tools at their disposal to be able to do things themselves. And this is another question that I've been asked recently. It's about like AI, and is that a threat to creativity? And this was a topic discussed at the design festival as well, which was really interesting. And it reaffirmed like what I believe in that, yes, we all need to use the tools available to us. You can't sort of stop change. But with AI, you still need to be able to understand what to type in the first place, what to ask. You can't just go, do me a brand, or maybe you could, but you wouldn't necessarily get the right result, because you still need a human being who knows what they're doing to really capture it and bring it all together. So
going back to what you said about capturing people's what they actually want from their business and what they're trying to achieve, and translating that into
the
something.
emotions.
Yeah.
Robots can't do emotions,
No.
can they? Not yet.
no.
And also, with things of this nature, of that creative bent, a lot of business owners aren't creative. They don't have that, so they need someone else. So even if they have an AI machine in front of them, they're not going to be able to put in the right thing they're never going to be happy with what they get out of it. They're still going to need to come to you so you know the right thing to ask it, so it will output the thing that works for that client. So AI is just going to make things... It's going to save people time, I think, is the...
Yeah, well, all the things I can see that it can do, I'm just like, well, that's brilliant. It saves, like, trawling through image libraries. You just type in, I want a picture of a llama drinking a cup of coffee in B&Q, please, and it will just do it. So,
it's just going to save you photoshopping time.
Yeah.
Because it's just gone, well, there you go.
Yeah, and we were even playing with it in the studio yesterday. This is really going off topic to the question, isn't it?
No, but I think it's good, it's relevant.
Yeah, so I suppose that some of my niggles are like people being reluctant to embrace the change that we can't stop, and also perhaps but still undervaluing what creatives do for businesses to help them keep their wheels turning around and the cogs going around and that kind of thing. So I suppose that's my does that answer the question?
What was the question?
What was the question?
Something about using AI in graphic.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
What doesn't she like about the industry?
Oh, right.
Yeah, that was the question.
So that's what answers it.
So, seeing as we're kind of digging a little bit deeper, then what's the worst project that you've worked on in your 10 years?
We want names. We want
Where they live.
I suppose there's like clients that I've not enjoyed working with on a personal level. That's always really, really hard to get the right outcomes because you're not aligned.
Yeah.
I suppose some of the worst things I have to do is maybe like, I don't know, like big, long, boring jobs. I really hate doing things like, catalogue amends and things like that, which maybe AI can solve that problem. Like, that's not a threat to me. It's happy days. So, maybe I really want to do really creative jobs, and sometimes I found myself like agreeing to do certain pieces of work that are just not like that at all.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what? Actually, you really could just go somewhere else to get that done, because that's not our superpower to do that.
Yeah.
So,
So do you think you've learned from that now, and like 10 years in, you're not saying yes to those jobs?
Yeah, and I think I've got our marketing a bit better now, so it's like attracting in the right sort of people in the first place. So I'm not having to I don't think I really say no very often. It's only a couple of times recently I can remember ever doing it, but it's like getting your marketing right to sort of avoid having projects land or clients come in that just aren't right for you, because there's no pleasure in that. And it just stresses you out. And I've had some proper, over the years, sleepless nights going, I've got to deliver this, and I wish I hadn't agreed to do it. And I shouldn't have done it. I'm a bit of a yes person, unfortunately. I've had to learn to master that. I get yes Tourette's.
I saw that in real
Tourette's.
life last week when I was at an event with Kate, and I could hear her just going, yeah, I'm up for that. And I was like, have you got Tourette's?
Yeah. So you got to witness my yes Tourette's. And afterwards I was like, I need to get my yeses back in the box.
What did you do before this?
Before my business?
Yeah.
Or in a previous life?
No. So were you working, was it corporate? Were you working for another SME? What were you doing before you kind of struck out on your own?
Yeah, I like this question.
Thanks.
I've never worked for the big agencies.
You're so lucky.
I've never wanted to. I was really, really lucky to land my dream job at a small agency in Lichfield. They had amazing clients. They only employed about maybe 15 people. We just howled with laughter all day. We stayed late at night and ordered in pizzas to live a creative...
your 20s,
it was
times.
Brilliant fun. It was brilliant fun. I got to do... I had quite a few firsts there. And because it was a small company, I got to do everything. So they sent me off on photo shoots. We got to do M6 Toll, for example. I remember going to art director photo shoot for them, and they were like, we just need some taillights going in and out through the booth. Can you go and drive your car backwards and forwards, please, through the toll booth? So I had to go do things like that. I got to do a director photo shoot for this thing we were doing for police, for some one of the was Warwickshire Police, and we had to go down and do some photos with the police officers, and they're like, oh, we've just had a big haul of cannabis plants. Do you want some pictures of that?
Yes.
Yeah, right. So, like,
Did you come out with your
like, how was
pockets
your
full?
day today, Kate? And I was like, well, I'm feeling a bit happy, actually. I've just been in a very small room with about 50 massive cannabis plants in it. And, yeah, and seeing like big billboards up in New Street Station that I'd designed and, you know, posters upon trains. And we just got involved in so many different really creative projects. And it was really exciting to do that. And I feel like working there sort of gave me everything I needed, really, to be able to do it, like replicate that and sort of do it myself in my own way. So that's what I did before. But I know people who've done the big agency route.
Yeah.
And you get very pigeonholed. It's like, no matter how creative you are, your job is like resizing adverts or something for the day. And that would just be my idea of hell, to be honest. I'd last about 20 minutes. Yeah. So that's what I did before.
And there's a kind of follow-up question to that. I'm sorry. I'll let other people have a go in a sec. How long after you kind of started on your own did you feel like a business owner? Was there a moment that you thought, yeah, this is it?
Good question.
He's coming out with the zingers, isn't he?
Yeah. Any just.
I don't...
Or have you ever felt that? Have you ever
I
achieved
don't
that?
know. I definitely get that imposter syndrome all of the time. So, and it comes and goes, you know, occasionally I'll just go, what am I doing?
Who the hell do I think I am?
Yeah. Pull up at the office with like people in there relying on me. I'm just like, oh my God, what am I doing here? And, but I don't know, actually. I suppose like, maybe only sort of recently. It's like the last few months, the business has really like transformed in so many ways in the team and the premises and the clients and our systems and processes. It feels like everything's sort of coming together. So I suppose now, yeah, I guess maybe I'm a business owner.
Hey, let's give her a round of applause.
I've landed.
So wait a minute, 10 years you've been doing it?
It'll be 10 years. I set it.
We need a party.
The company was incorporated at Company's House August 2013.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I've still got quite a way to go then before.
But doesn't it just show how long it takes for everything to be put in place? And this is someone who's worked very diligently from more or less the get-go of going on courses and following through and, you know, growing and planning and taking all steps. This is really how long it takes to develop a successful business.
And I'm guessing over those 10 years you kind of stuck to your guns. Do you feel you have done that? Or do you feel there was a time when you kind of wandered away from it because that was going to, you know, you've worked with a client or you've taken on a project or you've done something with the business that's like, that's going to make me some money in the short term. It's not quite the goal of the business, but that's the thing I'm just going to do quickly now.
Yeah, I know. I've done loads of that.
Yeah, that's fine.
No, loads of that.
It wasn't just me. Fine.
No. And the first, I suppose my very first day when I was like freelance on my very first morning, and I just sent out about 100 emails to anyone I'd ever met in my entire life going, hey, breaking news! I'm available for freelancing is how I sort of badged it. And then I think my strap line was like, I'll do anything for anyone. And I'll wear anything while I'm doing it too.
And it'll cost you next to nothing.
Yeah, in fact, I'll pay you to do the design work for you. So I really, yeah. So it took a long time to realise that was probably not the best approach. But I didn't know, I had no idea.
That is where you start. Just reach out to people that you've come across in the past.
Yeah.
Tell them I'm here, this is what I'm doing now.
Yeah, so I probably did the right thing, but it's what I was saying was probably not the right thing.
No.
But,
Yeah, you always kind of think, if I do it cheaper than everyone else, then everyone will come to me.
And I'll do
but
anything.
That don't work, does it?
Yeah.
Yes.
I remember one of my strategies once was like, I'm going to go down to London and just, like, my USP is like, I live in Birmingham and like, I pay less to live there, so I can do my design for less. I was actually considering doing that. And I was like,
It's
what a
mad,
stupid thing
isn't
to
it?
do.
Where was Where's you going to go when you get to London?
I don't know, just like Puss in Boots.
Shoreditch.
Puss in
And,
Boots with my little swag bag with my
on doors.
laptop in it, just like skipping down to London and just get down there and
Just go
like,
to London Bridge. They've all got bowler hats and umbrellas. They work in business. Just stop them.
Brilliant.
That's brilliant.
Darren, got any other questions?
Yeah, I do.
Why am I nervous when you've got one?
No, this is a
Who
nice
else
one,
you
I
been
think. This is a
speaking
nice
to?
one. Oh,
Okay.
we'll come
What
to that.
questions has the dad got for her?
Who would you say then is your kind of inspirations, your favourite designers, people who have influenced you?
I don't know whether I do have favourite designers as such, but I do get very inspired by things that I just see out and about in the real world. Definitely found the festival thing on Friday really, really inspiring. I think I need to do more of that, to be honest. I feel a bit like, do you know what? Sometimes we can be a bit insular in our company and not go out and, you know, mix with our own kind and really do. So I do encourage it in the office. Like, if we see something on the telly when we're waiting for a bus, you know, take a photo and share it with everybody. If you see something really nice. So I really quite like what the new branding for the Olympics for next year, and
Not
so that
seen
looks
it.
really nice. They've gone like really quite funky and different with it, and so
Is that the Team GB branding?
yeah, the Team
Yeah,
GB
yeah.
branding. Sorry, yeah, that one. Yeah, and it looks really nice. So I think I shared that in our little
You did,
WhatsApp
yes.
group. Like,
That's
check
great.
this out, guys. Nice bit of inspiration.
How cool.
So, and I think it's more sort of, rather than a particular designer as such that I really look up to, but I just find inspiration from everything really, even stuff that I just see, you know, waiting for a train or something, and so yeah, just keep my eyes open all the time, and just keep sending things and spamming the WhatsApp group.
Love it. Does anyone else feel like we could ask Kate questions all day?
Oh,
'Cause
all
I
day.
could. I could.
I have one more.
Go
from
on,
the
go
team.
for it. Go for it, 'cause then I'll finish up.
Oh, lovely. Yeah, so another one from the team. This is from your employees. What 3 words would you use to describe yourself?
I know why they've asked that. Blighters. It's because that's like when we interview, that's
Yes.
the question at the end.
Is blighters one of the words?
They're getting you back.
They are, aren't they? The tables have turned. Oh, I don't know.
It's going to be quicker than this.
Don't be humble.
You're
Just
in an interview, Kate. What 3 questions are you using to describe yourself? Do you want the job or not?
Okay. Like a little bit bonkers, although I don't really like the word bonkers. But I think that, you know, I'm quite good at just being myself and letting just myself shine out, even though other people might think it's probably a little bit bonkers in some way. But I think that is the best way of being creative. So I'd probably say there's a sprinkling of bonkers in there. I like to think that I'm really driven, but driven's not the most creative word, but I really like to work hard and I love to achieve things. That really gives me a nice buzz in life, to just see that I can do things that I wouldn't necessarily have thought I was capable of. And then the third one, I think I'm a radiator because I think I like to sort of energise those around me, and I like to feel like I have lots of energy that I share freely and happily with clients and my team and everybody I come into contact with. So I'm a radiator, a bonkers driven radiator.
Right.
I mean, that's so surreal.
Type that into AI and see what pictures you get.
It'll just be a picture of you.
Kate,
Did I get the job?
You've got the job. So, final question. There is somebody out there who at this moment in time is thinking about opening a graphic design business, or starting out on their own as a freelancer, as you were back in the day, and wants to create amazing brands. What's the one piece of advice you'd give them?
Well, I suppose for me, I wish I'd known about, little shout out to you, Claire, because I wish I'd known about coaching right from the get-go, so I could really understand how to market myself and how to, you know, who my audience is, what processes should I have. All of those things that I got so wrong at the start, and I think sort of slowed me down. And it was only when I started coaching, Darren's taking a photo of me. It's only when I started coaching that I was like, and having to unpick all the things I'd got wrong and put them all right. And I was like, oh, this is just transforming things. And if only I'd done this from the start. I mean, I didn't even know it was a thing, to be honest. I didn't even I didn't know any business coaches. I hadn't really done any networking or anything like that. So I'd say, like, really get somebody to help you get all of that right and just set you off on a flying start. Don't waste lots of time being Mrs. Yes Tourette's like I did. and finding yourself bogged down with stuff that you don't want to do, because there's no joy in that. And the whole beauty of setting up your own business or working for yourself is the freedom to be able to do the things you love and get paid for it. So I think that would be my one piece of advice.
Brilliant. So a final question: have you enjoyed being interviewed today?
It's been all right, actually. Have you enjoyed?
Yes.
I have enjoyed it, and I don't think I've revealed any incriminating evidence or anything like that. So I'm happy with that. I don't think there's anything to.
The lawyers will be pleased.
Brilliant. Thanks, Kate. So for all our lovely listeners, please share, subscribe and review so our fellow business owners can enjoy, be inspired and always keep focused on the fun side of business too.
This has been a MonkeyPants Productions podcast.